Hey guys! Welcome to Tianshi Story Time. I'm your host Tianshi. Today we're unraveling the epic fantasy adventure movie called 5 Elements, released in 2022. Get ready for an action-packed ride. The film opens in a pulsating nightclub where Turbo watches in awe as Mei, Lee, and Chun mesmerize the crowd with their hypnotic dance. But in an instant the allure shatters, power surges through the air, and they strike. Turbo barely dodges, power igniting from his hands. He isn't just a man in a club, he's a warrior. I doubted before. He whispers and summoning a spell that warps reality. The world twists, neon lights fade into darkness, the club dissolving into an abandoned wasteland. The 3 dancers now stand before him transformed, their eyes burning with a single purpose, to claim the fire ring, one of 5 ancient relics: fire, water, air, earth, and gold, each hiding unimaginable power. And Turbo holds one of them. Turbo stands firm as the 3 launch their attack. Lee wields fire, but is no match for Turbo, who holds the fire ring. Mei hurls frozen ice blades, her water power fierce, but weaker against his flames. Their combined efforts fail. Annoyed by their futile struggle, Turbo decides to end the fight. With a surge of power, he summons a massive fire monster, its molten form roaring with destruction. Fear grips Mei as her water serpent is instantly incinerated. Then the ground trembles. Out of nowhere, massive roots erupt, crushing the fire beast in an instant. From the settling dust, a lone figure steps forward, Kai, the girl's master. Kai clashed with Turbo, the earth shaking under their power. With unyielding strength, Kai overpowered him and seized the fire ring. Victorious, he returned to his lair where 4 rings now lay: fire, water, air, and earth. Only one remained, the gold ring, the key to immortality. His eyes burned with desire as he ordered Mei, Lee, and Chun to retrieve it at any cost. Meanwhile, in a quiet town, Jun worked at his knife stall while Jolly, his fiancée, sold oranges nearby. Life was simple, peaceful, until a group of thugs arrived, demanding money. Jun refused and fight broke out. In the heat of it, an axe swung straight for Jun's head. But before it could strike, something unseen stopped it midair. The weapon trembled, repelled by an invisible force. Jun stood frozen, confused, unaware of what had just happened. The thugs backed away in fear. Panic surged through him, and without thinking, he turned and ran. As Jun ran, his mind clouded with fear and confusion. That's when he met Wei, a mysterious man who stepped into his path with knowing eyes. "You have powers. If you let me, I'll teach you to use it." Before Jun could respond, Wei vanished into thin air. Jun returned home, thoughts swirling. He had borrowed money from the thugs. No wonder they attacked him. They would come again. If he could fight, he could defend himself, protect Jolly, and maybe even find a real future beyond this struggling life. Resolute, he scribbled a letter to his father, leaving it behind as he set out to find Wei. Jun crossed dense forests, towering mountains, and treacherous ridges before finally reaching Wei's town. Exhausted, he stumbled through the crowded streets and accidentally bumped into someone pushing them aside. The force sent him tumbling into a nearby house. Inside, Lee and Chun were deep in conversation. They spoke of the gold ring. Kai had entrusted Mei with finding the ring while ordering Lee and Chun to follow her, but they secretly plotted to steal it once Mei succeeded. Jun, hidden in the shadows, listened in shock. But before he could process it, he accidentally made a sound. "What gold ring?" Realizing too late he had spoken aloud. Lee and Chun turned sharply, their eyes locking onto him. Panic surged through Jun. He bolted out the door, running for his life. He didn't stop until he found Wei. Without a word, Wei take him to a gleaming gold temple of 5 element warriors. Wei began the story. Long ago lived 5 warriors, each wielding the power of an element, protected the world with their armies. They fought against dark forces, saving countless lives. But greed corrupted one of them, Kai. He wanted the power of the others. A great war erupted as Kai sought to steal the others' power. In the end, they managed to seal him away, but he escaped, slaughtering more warriors in his path. To stop him, the remaining warriors hid their powers within 5 rings. But Kai was relentless. He hunted them down, and in the end, he killed Turbo, claiming the fire ring. Now only one ring remains, the gold ring. If Kai gets it, the world will be his. Jun looked at Wei, confused. "What should I do?" Wei smirked. "First take this knife from me." June tried, but no matter how fast he moved, he couldn't grab it. Wei finally tossed the knife away. Instinctively, June raised his hand, and the knife flew straight to him. Stunned, he stared at it. Wei nodded. That's your power. With the right training, you'll control it. Only then will I tell you the secret of the gold ring. June agreed, and his training began. Meanwhile, Kai pushed his earth magic to its limits, but something went wrong. His own power turned against him, nearly crushing him. Mei saved him just in time, slicing the vines with ice blades. Mei then spoke. There's something strange about June. I can feel it. There's a hidden power inside him. What if Wei planning to give him the gold ring? Kai's eyes darkened. Follow him, find out where the gold ring is before he does. June had mastered his powers. Without hesitation, Wei handed him the gold ring. I've protected this for so long. Now it's your turn, until your last breath. June hesitated. I only came to learn not to take on this responsibility. Before he could react, the ring latched onto his finger. Just then, the three warriors arrived, sparking an intense battle. Amidst the chaos, Li suddenly attacked Mei. Shocked, Mei barely had time to react before Li unleashed her firepower. The blast sent June plummeting from a building. Mei teleported to save him, and Li tried to stop her. At the last moment, Mei managed to rescue June. Meanwhile, Li and Chun captured Wei. Mei lay unconscious. The next morning, June ventured into the forest to gather rare herbs to prepare a healing tonic. Mei drank it and slowly recovered. June continued his training. Nearby, he noticed a rare black lotus, the last sacred relic of this golden mountain. Mei revealed a painful truth that her parents and their people once lived on this mountain until the 5 elemental warriors slaughtered them for the gold hidden beneath. Only Kai had saved her, which was why she remained by his side. Meanwhile, June accidentally dropped his knife into the water. As he retrieved it, the lotus seed floated up, but it wasn't just seeds, it was gold. Realizing its worth, June swiftly collected them all. Mei decided to teach June teleportation, hoping he would eventually hand over the gold ring. She doubted he could master it quickly, but to her shock, June learned in no time and vanished before her eyes. Using his newfound power, he escaped from Mei and returned to his village. His first act was to repay his debts using the gold. But when he reached home, he found his father gravely ill, weakened from tirelessly searching for him. Meanwhile, Li went to Kai and accused Mei of betrayal, claiming she had tried to steal the ring. Enraged, Kai stormed to Mei's location and captured her. Li tracked June to his village, unaware he was drinking and basking in his newfound wealth. The villagers worshipped him, drowning him in praise, but the gold had changed him. He grew arrogant, even ignoring his closest friend. Frustrated, his friend complained to Jelly, just as Li and Chun arrived. Meanwhile, Mei was bound by roots beside Wei. As she struggled, she noticed a symbol on Wei's hand, the mark of her people from the Golden Mountain. Realizing he was a survivor too, she knew they shared the same water power. Using it, they drained the roots of moisture, weakening them until they shattered. With a final push, Mei and Wei broke free and escaped. June returned home to find his friend and Jelly beaten and trapped. Suddenly, the door crashed open and swords clashed. Chun fell dead. The shocking twist is the knife that struck Chun came from June's father, who also possessed powers like his own. A fierce battle ensued between his father and Li, but just as his father was about to kill Li, Kai intervened. In a brutal turn, Kai killed June's father, friend, and Jelly. Consumed by rage, June was about to strike, but before he could act, Wei appeared and whisked him away to the Golden Mountain. June screamed at Wei, demanding to be let go to save his family. But Wei's words cut deeper than any blade. Kai had already killed them. There was no undoing it. Then came the real truth. The people of the Golden Mountain weren't slaughtered by the 5 element warriors. It was Kai. The rings had been safeguarded here, and to claim them, Kai massacred everyone. Mei was deceived all these years, had no memory of it. Kai had fed her lies, blaming the warriors. The truth shattered her, rage burned in her eyes. She vowed revenge. But how could they defeat him? He possessed 4 rings. Just then, Wei spotted the Black Lotus. A single chance, time travel. June's heart ignited with hope. Then we can save my family. Wei's expression darkened. The lotus grants only one trip. If you waste it and die, everything ends. Wei's voice was firm. Listen, June, your power alone isn't enough. Enough, if you obtain the fire ring, you'll have what it takes to defeat Kai. In the past, Kai had taken the fire ring from Turbo. To change fate, June has only one chance to stop Kai in the past and claim the ring first. Without hesitation, they sent him through time. Landing in the midst of the battle, June watched as Kai bound Turbo in roots, reaching for the ring. Before Kai could grasp it, June unleashed his power, pulling the ring to himself. Meanwhile, in the present, Lee tracked down Wei ready to strike. But before she could, Wei teleported her to the sacred Golden Temple, where an intense battle erupted. At the same moment in the past, Lee witnessed June stealing the fire ring. Furious, she attacked, but June fought back, wielding the ring's flames. His strike left deep wounds on her hand. At that moment, the same injury appeared on the future Lee's hand. She staggered and confused. In the past, June summoned a fire monster, engulfing Lee in flames. As she perished, her future self burned to ashes, ending Wei's battle instantly. With nothing left to fight, Wei returned to Mei, only to find Kai waiting. Before he could react, Kai snapped Wei's neck and seized Mei. Meanwhile, in the past, Wei confronted June but chose not to kill her. "In the future, we are friends," he said before vanishing. Still in the past, June arrived at his home, where his father spoke with Jolly, his voice heavy with worry. Ever since his mother died, June has suffered so much. Listening from outside, guilt twisted inside June. He had abandoned his father, chasing after gold instead of protecting the one person who had always cared for him. Overwhelmed, June returned to reality, only to find Wei on his last breath. With a weak smile, Wei whispered, "Never let Kai take the ring, please." And with that, he was gone. Meanwhile, Kai was moments away from crushing Mei with his earth magic when June arrived just in time. But Kai had other plans, dragging June into a dense forest where his earth powers were strongest. The battle was brutal. June struggled, his strength failing, death closing in, until a mysterious figure in white appeared. Fighting side by side, June and the stranger unleashed their powers. With the gold and fire rings, June summoned a blazing golden fire monster. But Kai wasn't so easily defeated. He conjured a massive skeleton beast. A final explosive clash shook the earth, but June, now stronger than ever, struck Kai down at last. As they returned, the shocking truth unraveled. The white-cloaked warrior was June's future self. The Black Lotus power that could only be used once every 60 years had allowed him to return. Present June, realizing his destiny, handed over all the rings and says, "Keep them safe." Future June nodded, took the rings, and vanished into time. The journey had ended, but the legend would live on. Hope you had a great time watching the movie. See you next time. Bye.